Hi everyone, I'm Tom McArdle with the Sarasota Alliance for Historic Preservation, and I have with me...
I'm Nancy DeForge from Nokomis, and I serve on the Sarasota Alliance board.
So the Alliance, we're very happy to be here today at the Friends Fest, which is a terrific organization putting on a terrific event, and it's a great opportunity for us to get together and see our fellow preservationists and the other organizations around the county, and to also talk to people about what we do. The Sarasota Alliance for Historic Preservation was formed back in 1985, and it was a grassroots organization that arose out of the impending demolition of the John Ringling Tower in downtown Sarasota. So began as a grassroots effort. We've been around now for 40 years. Up until very recently, it was all volunteer, member supported. We are still member and donor supported, but we had hired our first full-time employee who is running an innovative program we started 3 years ago where we provide loans, easements, and technical expertise to property owners who need to work on their historic houses. So we're essentially advocacy, but we're offering financial tools. So a lot of what we do is we work together and with the community to push back against developers to try and preserve as much of the original Sarasota or old Sarasota as we can. So Nancy, why don't you?
Okay, and I am here today as a volunteer. I want to encourage people to stop by our booth to find out about the history of Sarasota. So we offer some books about the Tamiami Trail. Also, Venice is celebrating its centennial anniversary in 2026. So we have a good book about the history of Venice and the John Nolan planned city of Venice. I also brought some Babe Ruth bars for a taste of 1926 when that candy came out. So as a volunteer, we're involved with History in the Park, and we have baked 1917 cookie recipes. And if you come in February to History in the Park Day, you can have a taste of Bertha Palmer's brownies. I also go to testify before City Council and the Sarasota County Commission about changes to regulations and land developments, and we really are fervently trying to save every historic building that we can, and also historic neighborhoods. We also give advice and are a resource for neighborhoods and people who want to keep those historic houses and neighborhoods as they are. It's a very exciting group to be in, and I encourage anybody who's interested in history to come join.
We work very closely together as a group and with our volunteers, and have had some good victories in the last few years. I mean, we've lost a lot of buildings in Venice, in Nokomis, and in Sarasota, but in the last couple of years we've helped turn the tide a little bit. Nancy, and I've told this story a couple of times today, was instrumental and credited with getting the Venice City Council to reverse itself and preserve the historic Venice Beach Pavilion. So Nancy's testimony really helped turn the tide on that. And something that was headed for the wrecking ball is now being preserved and designated by the City of Venice. So congratulations, Nancy. And we've had a few other really good wins with working with the owners of the Miramar Hotel, and historic property from the 20s that was in really rough shape. The owners wanted to demolish it and build a new apartment building on the site. In working with them, the Alliance worked with them to show them that the financial incentives coming from preserving it with the different tax incentives that are available and preserving it would be economically feasible. There is a way to do it, and we helped show them that with tax credits. So long story short, the owners agreed they're gonna preserve it. We worked with them to get the city, we backed their plan to get a zoning variance so they could build a higher density double apartment tower behind the Miramar. which would allow them to generate enough revenue to pay for the restoration of the Miramar Hotel. So that was an example of us working with the community, not only the commissioners, the builders, but the builders and developers, but also with the neighborhoods that were very interested in seeing the Miramar survive. So you go to our website at preservesrq.org. A lot of those stories are there. I think it's interesting reading. And you'll see that there are a lot of people like me who are relatively new to Sarasota, didn't grow up here, but appreciate its history and are trying to help preserve as much of it as we can. And Nancy?
Yeah, so, and final words for me is that look in our website for any tours and activities that we have coming up this year. We are involved with having 6 to Save buildings and places that we see that need to be saved. So there are heritage awards coming up in the spring for projects that involve being active in helping with saving the historical parts of Sarasota and Sarasota County. We are a Sarasota County organization, so we just encourage anybody to get involved because it takes one voice and it takes a village, and you can do it.